Capricorn. I'm Ronique and welcome to Scorpio Soul Time. I hope you all are doing well. Welcome to your April 2024 career tarot reading. This is where we're going to look at the astrological energies of the month of April. This is a huge month, but even more so, we're going to make sure and hone in on your career, your job. Where is it that you are looking to build your wealth, your self-esteem? Where is it, Capricorn, that you can really use the energies of I said Aries, it's a huge Aries month, but use the energies of April to really catapult yourself and make sure you are feeling good about your trajectory for your money and your finances, okay? If you haven't already checked out those April monthly general tarot readings, I have the link below, or you can look on the home page and look under the eclipses playlist as well as the monthlies playlist. This is a huge month, so there's so much dynamic energy. So take a look at the description box below. I have all those dates highlighted, okay? I do want to welcome each and every one of you. If you haven't already subscribed, I would love if you would. I do put out a new video every day, usually a different sign of where we are at in the astrological calendar. So if you subscribe, you will always have new content coming to you every day. Make sure you hit that all notifications, okay? All right, Capricorn, let's get right into it. We start off the first week of April with the Page of Swords in the reverse, as well as the Ten of Cups. Second week of April finds you with the Two of Pentacles in the reverse, as well as the Queen of Swords also in the reverse. Week 3, you have the King of Swords. You have the King and the Queen of Swords. Interesting there, Capricorn. As well as the Emperor. This is the Aries energy coming on in that third week of April. Fourth week of April finds you with the Fool, Major Arcana in the reverse. And lastly, you end with the Ten of Pentacles. Beautiful family energy. I'm going to tell you that already. You have the Ten of Cups beginning the month, Ten of Pentacles ending the month. So possibly a really big month for you in your finances that could benefit your family. This could be an inheritance, definitely pointing towards some big news coming for you and your family or you and your loved ones. So really nice to see that. So let's go ahead and pull a card that's going to represent where it is that you left the energy in March, okay? Remember in March, we did have the spring equinox. We also entered into this Aries season, as well as had that eclipse in the sign of Libra. I kind of blinked out for a minute. In the sign of Libra. So let's see what Spirit has for you, Capricorn, on the energy you left out of March with. And you have the Knight of Cups. So you can see here where there's this, I love this depiction because I love how he's holding out this cup like, hey, you're going to come get it. And he's like running through this water. So there's some type of huge like grand gesture of putting, you know, my heart on the line for you. But it also can be like emotional support. Someone could be coming in from March saying, hey, do you need help? Do you want me to, you know, lend my shoulder? It's like this really nice feeling of someone being very supportive. Knight of Cups is usually a slower energy. It's not usually like charging like the Knight of Swords or Knight of Wands. It's more slow moving. So if this hasn't already come in, it could be experienced later on in April. But just know that there is someone around you who's trying to give you some emotional support, Capricorn. So that's really beautiful to see. All right, so lastly, let's go ahead and pull an oracle card. This is going to represent the energies that Spirit wants you to think about throughout the month of April in your career. Spirit, if you could send Capricorn a career oracle card. And you have the Knight of Fire. Now, how funny is it that I literally said, it's not the Knight of Fire who's charging in. So you have two knights on the ground, this Knight of Cups and now this Knight of Fire. And the Knight of Fire says passionate, adventurous, self-assured, restless. A sudden event that needs immediate attention. Time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. So Capricorn, you are reminded this month that if there are events that need to occur or events do occur that you need to pay attention to, make sure you are not rushing in without thinking through the fine details. Remember, we do have Mercury retrograding in the sign of Aries. So since Spirit sent you this card, be aware of people wanting you to do things quickly without even thinking through them, or don't get caught up in somebody else's emergency is now made your emergency. That's really common, especially at work where, you know, someone has to meet a deadline, but they drop the ball and now you have to move 2 times faster. Keep that in mind throughout the month. Make sure you are not being too hasty in your dealings with people or in meetings. Watch your words. Make sure you're not getting too fired up in conversation, okay? Because that's really easy to do with all of this Aries energy this month, okay, Capricorn? All right, so let's go ahead and let's look at your cards as a whole for the month. So one thing that I am seeing here, Capricorn, is that you have, like I said, this really strong family energy, that 10 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles beginning and exiting out of April, which is really refreshing to see. One thing that I do see though is that this Queen of Swords, King of Swords, and Emperor mid-month could be the sign of some important people coming together, making an announcement, or possibly this is you and your spouse making some type of announcement or needing to decide what you do with the family. There's some kind of conversations between important people here with the Queen of Swords and King of Swords, and that Emperor card could be some of that major energy of a boss or an organization really giving you, like, I don't want to say an ultimatum, but it definitely feels like it's something out of the blue that you weren't expecting, okay? So be prepared for that. The 2 of Pentacles, some type of decision has to be made. And by the time you're ending out the month, some new opportunity occurs, but it may not necessarily be what you want to go with. So just make sure you're not rushing into anything. Even if you get like a job offer, maybe you can delay it until you move into May. Just keep that in mind, okay? Because you definitely have some major decisions from some important people here later on in the month. So once we get to that week, we'll talk about that further. So we start off the month with Mercury stationing retrograde in the sign of Aries on the 1st. The Sun is conjunct the North Node in Aries on the 4th. And then Venus also enters Aries on the 4th. Capricorn, be aware of any kind of messages that you get that first week of the month. They may be related to building your wealth or inheritance, or that's the other thing I was going to say with the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. This could be money from like a passed on loved one, like an inheritance, or writing a will, sitting down with someone and talking over your estate. That Page of Swords definitely feels like some news comes in that you weren't expecting, but it definitely feels like it's for the greater good of your family. Like it is money related, but maybe not necessarily like tied exactly to your job, more about building wealth or saving your inheritance, things like that during that first week. Try not to sign any important papers if you can throughout the month of April. Now remember, we can't just hold our lives on hold until Mercury isn't retrograde, but just keep that in mind. If you can try to delay some important signings, that would be really good, okay? And if you do, just know that you might have to change things in the future, okay? Now by the time we get to week 2, this is when we have that huge total solar eclipse, new moon in Aries on April 8th. Sun is conjunct Chiron on the 8th, and then we have Mars conjunct Saturn 2 days later on the 10th. It feels like there is this conversation to be had around what to do. There feels like there's two opportunities possibly being presented to you, Capricorn. And I'm not quite sure if this is your energy or the other person, meaning like it feels like it could be your spouse gets a new job opportunity, or possibly a loved one leaves, passes on and leaves some money, and you all are trying to decide what to do with the money. There's some kind of inheritance money conversations coming up. But I will say, with that being that new moon total eclipse, don't be surprised if something is eclipsed out of your life, and then later on in the month, or possibly into May or June, this kind of conversation comes up later on. Since April has so much dynamic energy, I'm telling all the signs that it may not play out this month. It may be something that is seated here at that total eclipse, and then it takes some months to start materializing. So just keep that in mind, okay? Now, by the time we get to that third week of April, this is when we have the sun entering Taurus on the 19th. We have that big Uranus and Jupiter conjunction in Taurus on the 20th. And then on the 23rd, we have a full moon in Scorpio. During that week, Capricorn, be prepared for just out of the blue information from the outside world to your world, meaning like this could be on the global scale. It could be the stock markets. It could be something dealing with, the global economy, but it could also be something that hits you at home, meaning like something in your family. Or with that King of Swords and the Emperor, it feels like someone at your company or who has a major stake makes a huge decision, meaning like maybe they're merging with another company, maybe they're doing some reorganization, or maybe if you are an entrepreneur, maybe this is something like you actually gained some new clients, or you find a new way to work with like a competitor. There's something out of the blue that occurs at third week of April. Just be prepared for it changing over the upcoming months. I do not think that whatever this announcement is stays that way. Just because you have all of these important people talking, this could be, investors or board members. Just be prepared that that could change as you move through May, okay? All right, so lastly, Capricorn, at the end of April, Mercury retrograde ends in Aries on the 25th, but remember, it still has its post shadow to go through. So I believe it exits its post shadow around May 15th. So you still have more time with Mercury in Aries. Then we have Venus entering Taurus on the 29th, and then Mars entering Aries on the 30th. Some type of benefic news comes on in, I believe, that last week of the month. This could be tying into whatever it was at the beginning of the month, but I do feel like some of you are needing to make a fresh start, but maybe you're hesitant. I do think that your family members, this becomes a family discussion about whether you should take a job or whether your spouse should, venture out on his own and become their own entity, like an entrepreneur. There's some kind of conversations at the end of the month, but that Mars entering Aries on the 30th, I do think is going to catapult you into some new adventure. I think that throughout this month of April, you've been contemplating different things, but you weren't quite sure which way to go until you started getting more insight. And I think your family helps you with some type of decision. And then by the time you move into May, I think that will look a lot different than it did back here in April. So remember that Knight of Fire, remember that Knight of Cups. You have a lot of this energy of wanting to move forward, but just remember, we have so much dynamic energy. If you can try and hold it off a little until things look a little clearer, like May or June, I think you may be looking at things a lot differently. All right, Capricorn, I hope this was helpful for you. Do take a look at your sun, moon, and rising signs in this video series. If you would like a personal tarot reading from me, I do have the link below. All right, I hope you all have a great April in your career, and I'll talk to you later.